when I met you.
That was Natalie Burke with You, and we have Natalie in the studio. Thank you again for joining us. You guys are listening to 91.7 per alternative with Natalie Burke. I love how, like, the inside of your CD, like, I didn't realize it, but like I was saying before, it's London. Did you take that photo yourself?
I did.
It is so beautiful, and it's so amazing.
Yeah.
And then your just album cover together, it just really says who you are. As a whole, who do you think... What do you think this album says about you personally?
I think this album, I released it at this point in my life where, I was growing and changing and, figuring out new parts of me that I never knew before. So I think, the fact that I even released it was something, that was really big for me. Showed that I had the confidence to put myself out there, to put my music out there. It's really personal, and I'm a pretty introverted person, so the fact that I even put it out there, was a big deal for me, and just a big step in the right direction. And I just want to continue making music and seeing where I go. But this album was definitely a big first step.
We were kind of talking about before City Lights, which I love. What kind of went through your head, this being your number one single for your EP?
Yeah, City Lights was the first song that I wrote in London, and it's cool because, for my songs, I like how I hope that people can relate to them, but also they have a lot of, hidden personal things that only me and that I would really recognize and relate to, which I think is neat. But there's also an overlying sense that everyone can relate to it, and I love hearing other people's interpretations of the song, and I think you're spot on in the way that you listen to it. And that's what I love about music is everyone has their own opinion, their own way that music makes them feel, and the way they interpret songs.
I was kind of thinking before about how a lot of the songs on this album are kind of like those romantic relationships, whether they are those intimate, actual romantic relationships that you're in, or just a relationship with a person and yourself. Yeah. So Daddy's Love, what kind of song does that say to everyone, kind of building off, going from City Lights, saying that there's a newfound relationship, you're stepping into a light, and then you have the person who's raising you to know what love is supposed to be.
Yeah, no, that's so true. I think from the album, at least, you can get a sense that for me, I take relationships seriously, and when I do let people in, it does mean a lot to me. And you see a lot of people, you see their flaws, and for me, my relationship with my dad means everything to me. We're best friends, so I kind of wanted to try in whatever way I could to put into words just how much he means to me, and the way he raised me. He's a big part of who I am, and the type of person I am, and what I strive for, who I strive to be in my relationships with others. And it's just a really special song for the two of us, and I'm glad that I put it on the album, and he's glad I put it on the album.
So what did he think when he heard the song?
He cried the first time he heard it. I think he cries a little every time he hears it, but it's his favorite song on the album.
It's because it's about him.
Of
that's
course,
why.
of course.
So what kind of went through? I feel like, I hear some of your songs and it's like, yeah, love is awesome, love is great. I'm not her, though.
It has a little attitude to it, but yeah, that was another song I wrote in London. Yeah, it definitely has some anger behind it, but when I write songs, I kind of just write how I feel in the moment. And I think for that song, a lot of it was just, I wrote it straight through, barely any editing, and that was just how I was feeling. It's hard because when you feel like betrayed, or you feel like someone isn't seeing you for who you are. And that's how I felt in the moment, and that's how I wrote the song. And
so how did you kind of push past that and now onto like other songs?
The songs are kind of in a progression how I wrote them, like City Lights, I'm Not Her, You Blue, Dancing Mind Game. Like, they are, you can kind of look at them in a continuum, in the different evolving emotions that you do go through, that you do feel.
Right. So I do notice that, like, on the album you did start with City Lights and then you ended with Daddy's Love. So what kind of made you choose that to end with that one?
I think for Daddy's Love, the other songs were parts of my life that I felt these things and then, I let them go. Whereas with Daddy's Love is something that, I continue to feel and I will always feel because I do have that strong relationship with my father. So it felt only right that the album end with that song.
So when you were recording it, do you ever get like different thoughts about how the song is interpreted when you were recording them, or even when you sing them now at shows?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely sing songs differently than how they're produced on the album. Even coming up with how the album produced the songs. I definitely had different ways and different ideas for how songs should be, and I think there's not one way that a song could be interpreted, and I could definitely see myself going back and producing songs completely differently on the album.
Can you tell me a little about the producer though, and all the great things that happened?
Well, for the album, the whole reason it started, I was talking to one of the music teachers at Marywood, and I just played her one of my songs, and she's like, I have a friend who has a studio, like you should, record with him, and these songs should be recorded. So she put me in contact with her friend James Zapati, and we were just gonna record maybe a song or two, and then we recorded 3, 4, and then he's like, you should really just. He was great. We spent a lot of time on these songs, and I'm a perfectionist, so we would go through so many runs, and he was very patient, and he really was able to see my visions for these songs, and I'm so grateful for the time that he put in and for believing in.
So what's kind of coming up next with your new music that you hopefully can go down to Tennessee next year and produce?
Yeah, we'll see. I am going to Nashville for an externship for my major in speech pathology, and I'd love to continue with my music, continue with songwriting. So I do have some new songs that I have, and just continue to be inspired by new places, new people. That's what I'm most excited for.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us again. This is your album EP, City Lights by Natalie Burke. Thank you again, and we look forward to hopefully next year you can come back and you'll have a new album, and we'll be able to talk about it all over again and do this process. This is DJ Radio Rach. Make sure that you guys know that you are enough, so enough. It's unbelievable how enough you are. Make sure you tune in every Friday night and every single minute of the day, because 91.7 VMFM never stops playing your favorite music. I'll see you next week, only on 91.7 VMFM, her alternative.
Pulling back and you're falling fast. You're teetering